Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Wilson Dittman Sports Channel here on YouTube. We talk about everything related to Nebraska football, whether that's recruiting, whether that's staff, whether that's players, right here on the Wilson Dittman Sports Channel. So if you like the content, please hit like, comment, and maybe even subscribe. But let's get this thing started. I can barely contain my excitement, man. This is a mega episode. We're going to be looking over the spring game, commits, Dylan Raiola update, talking about the new Herbie Husker, all the transfers getting out of here, especially Casey Thompson. And then we'll end the episode talking about the NFL draft, where guys went, UDFAs, and all that. My goodness, man. I mean, let's just jump right in. I'm so excited. This will be a long one. And if you guys want to skip around, I will have tags at the bottom for you to skip around each section. But you don't want to miss out on the spring game analysis, which is starting right now. So, quick disclaimer. I wanted to make a video right away when the spring game ended, like I did during football season. I had recaps up that very day. The only problem was I was in Orlando, so I had to wait until basically a week after to make the recap video, and I think that's fine anyway, so we can talk about everything else going on and everything that followed it. But yeah, let's start off with the spring game, and I just want to really quickly talk about the Frank Solich thing. And did I like it? How did I feel about it? Because I feel like universally people loved it. I have a little bit different of opinion. I like Frank Solich. I agree. Frank Solich was a little bit before my time. I'm 17 years old. He was never coached in my lifetime, but I understand how significant he was in Nebraska football history, and I definitely agreed for the better part of a couple of years. I agree that we needed to have him come back in some way, in some form. However, I don't know if he really, frankly, deserved, pun not intended, I don't know if he really deserved everything that we did for him just now. And kind of in my, let's just recap it. They put the thing on the field, the 41. They did the fullback dive and they gave the ball to him on the first play of the game. They renamed the locker room for him. They gave him a press conference. They gave him a speech. I love Frank Solich, and as a guy, he's a great guy. But does he deserve all that? We fired the guy, man. And granted, he's a great coach. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. He was a great coach here, and he's a great coach at Ohio. But in my opinion, it kind of signifies how far we fell as a program, that we're going to this levels to appease a coach that we ended up firing 20 years ago. That's insane. Yeah, when's that going to happen for Bo Pelini? Right? A lot of people will be like, oh, that's never going to happen for Bo Pelini. Bo Pelini was terrible. Well, Bo Pelini won 9 games a year, so if it's outrageous for you to even think about doing that for Bo Pelini, then that's the same way I feel about Frank Solich. I think it's a little bit outrageous that we went to that length. I think Bo Pelini at some point in time should probably come back to Memorial. I like that. I don't think we should rename our locker room Bo Pelini. That's dumb. So it's same thing here. And granted, Frank Solich had a bigger impact on Nebraska football than Bo Pelini, but they're very similar. So I just want to get that out of the way. But let's talk about the game itself, which players shined, which players didn't, and no way better to start than with Jeff Sims. I mean, Jeff Sims is legit. He's everything that we thought he was going to be, playmaking-wise. Didn't run the ball as much as I thought he was going to, but he was zipping the ball around. He played really good and solidified quarterback one. Obviously, Casey Thompson entered the portal this week, which we'll talk about later, and the impact of that. But I thought he played really well. He looked really good in the offense. The offense as a whole did not play well. Only, a lot of turnovers. They had 6 fumbles and 3 picks from my count. That terrible. That's awful. And Rule was not happy about it post game. But Jeff Sims as a whole, I think we are fine with Jeff Sims being quarterback one. That's not anything to be concerned about. He should be all right. I do think that the turnovers will be an issue with him. Like I said previously, I do think just his overall skill set as a pass pro quarterback will not be great. Obviously, he's not in a pass pro system, but as an option quarterback, he'll be really well. He'll be really good. Nothing to worry about there. Marcus Washington had a really good day with 2 touchdowns, and Billy Kemp also had a really good day. I wish they posted stats. I didn't see any stats specifically, but Billy Kemp was all over the field. He's going to be our receiving leader this year, almost guaranteed. I would say he's even going to be a reception leader as well. Receiving yards and receptions. He'll lead. I mean, he was a stud out there, and he's going to be wide receiver one in the slot is where he should be. man, he's good. And I compared him to Wando Robinson when we initially got him. I definitely could see that. It'll be interesting to see how Satterfield uses him. I talked about pregame. I didn't really take into account like the way our offense was looking in the certain plays. Like, the spring game only shows you so much. They are deliberately not showing you most of the offense during the spring game. They're showing you the bread and butter. On the defense, you'll see a little bit more, which we'll come to talk about. So yeah, wide receivers look good. The O-line, man. Oh, the O-line was terrible. The same things that we've been hearing all spring ball, that they're not athletic, that they're flat-footed, that they lack mobility. You saw today. The edge rushers especially had a field day against the O-line. The D-line as a whole destroyed them. There was a couple guys, Princewell, Cameron Lenhard, Maverick Newton, true freshmen, early enrollees who had really good days against starting caliber O-linemen. I mean, that can't happen. This O-line is really bad, really lacks depth. I was overwhelmed. It was bad. It was really bad. And I was expecting a lot better. Tight end room, Fedoni looked good. Fedoni looked all right. Arik Gilbert, he flashed his athleticism, but it's the same thing we've been talking about all spring ball. I mean, he dropped 2 passes right where he could have had them. Easy catch. He's dropped 2 of them. That's something you can't have from a guy as athletic as he is. But you know that's something that can be learned. That's something that can change in practice. But man, that was a little bit frustrating to see. The offense as a whole, like I said, not great. Gabe Irvin played all right, but it was sloppy. It was really sloppy. It was an underwhelming performance. But I just mentioned them. I want to talk about the true freshman edge rushers because they had a heck of a day. We talked about the defense won the day. Princewell, Emmanuelum, I'm going to butcher that for the rest of his career. He had a couple tackles for a loss and a sack. Really good. I talked about him when he committed, athletic freak. Compared him to Randy Gregory just from a length standpoint. This is a guy who, with his spring game performance, I could see him playing as a true freshman. Same with the next guy, Cameron Lenhard, where he got quick pressure on the quarterback, and he almost had a sack on, I believe it was Heinrich Harburg, but Heinrich Harburg barely got out of the way. And Maverick Newman also had a really good day, along with some other guys. Jamari Butler played all right. MJ Sherman played all right. So definitely some good things there. And Gage Stanger, I know a lot of people were hyping him up a little bit. He had a couple nice hits, forced a fumble. He was playing really well for a guy that I never thought would, play here. Obviously, it's just a spring game. There's always guys who, like walk-ons, who play really well in the spring game. We never see him again. That could easily be the case with Gage Stanger. I hope it's not, but like when he originally committed, now I'm from Millard South, and he went to Millard South. I said, I don't like that get for the Huskers because he's going to change positions because he played quarterback his senior year of high school. He's going to change positions to nickel. That's not going to be great. And I doubt he'd ever play here. I like to fit more at Kansas State. Now he's a middle linebacker. He's playing, I think he's playing Will, and man, he had a really good spring game. So hopefully he can develop into a piece that we can use regularly. So those are kind of the standouts on defense. The secondary as a whole had a really, really, really good game. Man, they're deep. They are really deep. Travis Fisher did a really good job of building that unit up before he left. It's basically the same unit as last year, minus a couple of the guys who weren't productive. So yeah, I really like that secondary. So that was kind of just some notes that I had on the spring game. As a whole, it was kind of underwhelming for Rule's, first spring game. But as it's a spring game. Who cares? It's not a big deal. It's nothing. You use it to shout out players that you might not see every now and then. It means, I'm going to tell you this right now, it means absolutely nothing in regards to how we're going to perform this season. Like maybe the O-line, like maybe small things like the O-line as a whole being as bad as they will have impacts on it, and we can take that away. But as for a single game performance, like if a guy played really badly, or if blah 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 played really badly, like it doesn't matter. Or as a unit played badly, like I don't think the quarterbacks really played amazing besides Jeff Simmons. People were hyping up Heinrich Harburg a little bit, which I'll get to. I do not like Heinrich Harburg. I think he didn't have a good game. You saw the traits for him, but man, oh man, he struggles with the IQ aspect of the game. But I don't know, underwhelming. I'll just recap it. Underwhelming, but it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. We're moving on. All right, let's get to some commits here that we got. So let's start off. I'm going to pull them up really quick here. Willis McGahee Jr. committed to us the day of the spring game. He's a linebacker out of Miami, Florida, 4-star, son of a Miami legacy, actually. Or, excuse me, Willis McGahee, the fourth. He's not junior, he's the fourth. Explosive linebacker. Explosive. You watch this film, he reminds me a lot of Eric Fields we got on the previous class. He's a guy who's all over, making plays. This is the type of linebacker that Rule likes. You know, when you saw in the Frost era, they got a bunch of country boy linebackers, for better or worse, who were just really good from a traditional standpoint. You know, really good at securing the tackle, but they weren't guys who were just absolute athletic freaks. They were guys who had good IQ and could make the right play at the right time, but they were never going to be superstars. Willis McGahee is a guy who can absolutely be a superstar for us. I think I like him on the outside as an outside linebacker in the 3-3-5. Would not be surprised if they tried to play him inside, though. But now I really like that get. Another 4-star to this class. And the second guy we got was Ian Flynt, 3-star tight end. Now, this was a guy who has basically been N for the last couple months. I was surprised it took this long. He's 6'5", 250 out of Texas. Yeah, he's been like locked down Nebraska for a while. Really, just a good kid. You know, I listened to a couple of his interviews. Really well spoken. He said he had a really good connection with the staff. Really, the headline out of this was just building that connection in Texas. Bob Wager, coming from Texas now, the tight end coach, is a big reason why he's here. His parents came from the his parents attended the university, so that was another reason why he wanted to come here. Oh yeah, and his sister's here too. So basically everything was culminating for him to come here. Really good prospect. It's nice to beef up the tight end room, which I think is one of the worst on the team, if not the worst, is the tight end room, depth-wise especially. So definitely need to get a high-profile guy in this class, and here we go. I want to talk about Dylan Raiola next. Now, holy crap, guys. We're going to have to sit down, buckle up, fasten your seatbelt, because we're going to have a conversation about him. For better or worse, Georgia. It looks like he's on Georgia right now. Obviously, he's not committed to Georgia. He's not tweeted out that he's locked in 100%, but it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good for him. It was said that he's recruiting for him. He likes all their stuff on Twitter. He got a bunch of crystal balls as of recently. Everything is looking like it's going to be Georgia, and I'm not surprised. No one should be surprised by this. Sorry, I was trying to pull up some. Nobody should be surprised by this. It looked like he was bound for Nebraska. There was a lot of hype over the last couple months. He was a silent commit for us. He was recruiting for us and all that. And I said, hold on. Wait till official visits. It's all smoke and mirrors. Let's not celebrate something that's not been done yet. That's not over with. And guess what? It wasn't over with. He wasn't silently committed to us. That was all smoke. And it looks like Georgia is the move. Where do we go from here? That's the question. Here's my thing: is we still need a 4-star quarterback in this class. We still need we still need to get a guy who can rival Dylan Raiola. Obviously, Daniel Kalen's no longer in the mix. He committed to Missouri. I'm trying to pull up the guy who we offered as of recently. Dude, where is this dude? I don't even know. Anyways, but we offered a 2024 4-star quarterback as of recent. But we got to move on from Raiola at best, because. And I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, we'll just pick up Raiola when he enters the transfer portal in, like 2 years, right? I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the guy where If he chooses to go to Georgia, great. Bye. I'm not going to play the game where we're going to pick you up when you fail or if you fail. That's not the way I want to go about this. I like Dylan Raiola, man. I think he's a good kid. I think he's a good prospect, but it sucks. It sucks it didn't work out. I don't know why. I'm not gonna, and I'm not saying it's over. We still may get him. We still have a chance. We really do. So I'm not same way I said that it's not over when we thought we were going to get him. Same way I'm going to say it now. It's not over, even though it looks like the signs are pointing to Georgia. It does make me a little nervous that he's only going on official visit to Georgia. I think that's probably when he's going to announce his commitment to them. But we got to have a game plan, and I'm worried that we don't. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried we don't have a game plan. I'm worried that Rule and staff put all their eggs in his basket and don't have a backup plan right now at quarterback for the 2024 class. Because rolling through our offers right now, I don't see another guy who we realistically can get who's a top end talent. We're gonna have to get somebody. We're gonna have to find somebody out of the blue, and hope that we can land him, because it's frustrating because we put everything in on this guy and we're not gonna land him. So yeah, it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. And looking through, I'm just scrolling through like the top 50 quarterback recruits in the country. Almost all of them for the class of 2024 are already committed somewhere. Like I said, we put all our eggs in Dylan Raiola's basket and we're about to get burnt. The only thing that gives me hope is that Georgia already has a 2024 quarterback commit. But, that's the only thing that gives me hope right now on that. So I just don't want anybody to freak out if he does, in fact, commit to Georgia. It is what it is, man. That's recruiting. And who are we to really think that we could get the number one player in the country? Who are we to think that? It can't be that easy for us. It can never be that easy. So, whatever. It's not over though. But that's my take on the Dylan Raiola situation. Don't freak out if he does in fact commit to them in the foreseeable future. But sucks. All right, let's take our. It was a little bit depressing. Let's talk about the new Herbie. Let's talk about new Herbie. I know it's not really football, but I just kind of want to talk about it a little bit. So they released his logo design about 2 weeks ago. It's been leaked for a little while. I really liked it. I thought it was cool. I really hated the brown Herbie logo, the brunette Herbie logo. Really hated that one. So this one looks really clean. He doesn't look as much of a weirdo now, though. He's not fat, he's not like really fat. He's kind of skinny. Old Herbie, like blonde Herbie, was really fat. Like he was like an alcoholic. Now he's a little more trim. I like it though. I like it. As for the actual mascot itself, they released at the spring game. I thought that was trash. I'm not gonna lie. Like he looked bad. He looked really bad in that. His eyes were all crazy. His face shape was bad. This might be a hot take. I did not hate the brunette Herbie mascot, like the actual mascot. I did not hate that. I thought, honestly, they could have just kept him the same. They could have kept the brunette Herbie the same and just changed the logo back to the blonde one. The new blonde one looks real bad. Like I don't know a single person who likes this. The new blonde Herbie mascot. And his eyes are bad, man. I'm looking at it right now. Like, it just looks stupid. And I know a lot of people aren't saying it out loud because they want to like the new mascot. But they need to make some tweaks to it because it looks like a child, man. It looks bad. So, I don't know. But that's my take on it. I still think they should sacrifice Low Red at halftime. That'll really break the curse. Just for good measure. I know we already thought we broke the curse with Frank Solar's coming back, but we need to sacrifice Low Red at halftime and really get that back. All right, that's my quick take here. But now, let's get serious. transfer. The transfer portal opened up a week ago, or was it 2 weeks ago? But nobody really entered until after the spring game. So let's run through all of the transfers. Then I'm going to nitpick a couple of them, most notably the quarterbacks and some others on who to talk about. And I have a little bit of inside analysis. Some people don't know about some retirements yet. I don't think it's the media hasn't talked about them yet, but there's some guys who retired. So Sean Hardy enters the portal. Braxton Clark enters the portal. Logan Smothers enters the portal. Victor Jones Jr. enters the portal. Stephon Wynn enters the portal. Richard Torres enters the portal. Casey Thompson enters the portal. And Noah Pola Gates enters the portal. And the retirements go as follows. Tamon Linham hasn't been reported yet, but Tamon Linham is retiring from football. Last Florida guy left at that 2020 class. He stuck around, but never got playing time. Seth Malcolm, another guy who's retiring. He was a part of the 2020 class as well. Didn't really like him out of high school. I thought, he was playing like six-man football. That rarely ever works, like the transition to college football. It rarely works. So he's retiring. He also had a shoulder injury they just got surgery on. In Bleak Road, there's a report that he's either retiring or walking on. He'll more likely than not walk on, just because I want to give that scholarship to Alvano. Not surprised by that. This is something I talked about before. They couldn't have two kickers on scholarship. Not with the whole scholarship issues we're on right now. So, but yeah, let's talk about some of these transfers in particular. So Sean Hardy, the wideout. I'm not surprised by this. This is a guy who I thought should leave unless he had a really good spring. There weren't really reports that he was having a good spring. He never played for us. Not a loss here, especially you knew that we were going to lose a couple of wide receivers given that the second rule guy here, he had like 6 in the class of 2022. Braxton Clark was a guy, also not surprised to see go. Surprised it took this long, actually. He was a guy who played really good in 2020 when he got the opportunity, or was it 2019? I think it was 2019. He was hurt I think he was either hurt in 2020, I think. But he played really well, and then just failed to get on the field the last 2 years, getting off of injury. Not surprised by him. He wasn't fast enough to play boundary quarter. That was my problem with him. He was not fast enough to play boundary quarter, and we never tried him at nickel. We never tried him at safety. And there, he enters the portal. He wasn't going to work in this defense. Logan Smothers is the next guy. So here's my take on Logan. I love it for Logan. I said before, I wanted Logan Smothers to enter the portal. Not because I either want people to enter the portal for 2 reasons. 1, they're not helping the team or they're really bad at football. Or 2, I want to see them enter the portal because I want their career to go well. Logan Smothers was never going to play here, man. It just was not meant to be. He should have realistically entered the portal like 2 years ago, man. And I wish him the best of luck. I hope he lands like in South Alabama. I would not be surprised if he lands somewhere like there, going back home, Sun Belt. So I just hope he gets the opportunity to start. He's a heck of a quarterback, man. He played really well last year. He played really well against Iowa in 2021. This is a guy, just didn't get his fair shot here. And I'm rooting for him. He represented Nebraska with class, man. So yeah, it hurts the depth, which we'll talk about when we get to Casey. Victor Jones enters the portal, another guy out of the I think it was a 2022 class. Who's Victor Jones? Really liked his speed. I think he was our first commit of the 2022 class. I could be wrong. And Frost was recruiting him since he was in 8th grade or something along those lines. Not surprised he left. He was a Frost guy. But I was surprised that he didn't ball out in spring because he's a guy that Rule kind of likes. Those faster built receivers, kind of smaller. I think they would have liked Victor Jones, but it wasn't meant to be. That's all right. Stephon Wynn was kind of a shock. Let's get to Stephon Wynn. So this D-line is a bad unit. We've talked about it all spring. This D-line is easily the worst unit on our team. Granted, the edge rushers played wood. I mean, the hand in the dirt D lineman, it's not a good unit. Stephon Wynn, who was projected to be a starter, honestly. I guess not because he entered the portal, but I thought he was going to be a starter. I mean, first off, this hurts the depth. This hurts the depth so bad. I'm going to pull up our D-line depth chart right now. And just to prove this to you, how bad the depth chart is right now at D-line. Hand in the dirt D-line. We got Nash Hutmacher starting at nose tackle right now. I love Nash. He's still to this day not a quality nose tackle. Ty Robinson starting, fine. And then probably Elijah Judy or Roquan Buckley as the other starter on the D-line. That's not good. I'd feel a lot more comfortable if we had Stephon Wynn somewhere in there. And that's only the starters right there. That's only the starters. Then it gets to, Roquan Buckley, Blaze Gunnerson. It gets really bad really quick. This is a surprise. I would not be surprised if we tried to give Stephon Wynn a package NIL deal to get him back here, because I just don't want to see him gone, man. We need to add somebody. We can still add people in the portal. We need to add someone on the D-line really bad. Hand in the dirt D-lineman. Richard Torres enters the portal. That one was a little bit of a surprise as well. Last Frost commit at quarterback. Gunslinger. Big, Tommy Armstrong really liked him. He was, both of them were from Texas, and they kind of played similar. I thought Richard Torres might work out here. I really did. I thought he might have been admirable. Might have got some time on the field if things worked out, but the depth wasn't there. He was gonna be buried in the depth chart again. He didn't want to wait. That's fine. He's out of here. Nothing really more to talk about. Noah Pola-Gates enters the portal. So this is overdue as well. I love Noah Pola-Gates, man. I was a Noah Pola-Gates truther for the longest time. Every offseason, I would be like, oh, who's going to break out this year? Noah Pola-Gates. Never happened. One of the higher-rated guys in the Frost recruiting classes. I think he's a 4-star, top 150 recruit. This dude was a stud, man. He never got on the field here, and when he did, it was for special teams. I'm rooting for him, man. He posted something really good on Twitter. He was just, like a lot of, how a lot of people write, kind of, I don't want to say bull crap, but they write bull crap messages like, oh, thank you, coach, thank you, staff. He actually wrote a really good message about Husker football and how much he's going to miss and how his family. So I'm absolutely going to miss Noah Pola-Gates. I'm sad it never worked out, man. He was a good guy, but it is what it is. And I'm not surprised because obviously I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to Texas, or not to Texas, but a school in Texas or a school around there, maybe Arizona, back where he lives, where he's from. But I thought he was going to leave last offseason because his girlfriend, Kiona Leakana, left to go to Texas, the volleyball player. So I thought he was going to leave then, but that's fine. He leaves a year later. That's a guy who probably needed to go. He wasn't. There's a certain point in time in a player's career, if they've never played well, they're never going to. And that was the way I felt about Noah Pola-Gates. He was going into his 5th year here, and he never played. So, yeah, it was time for him to move on. All right, let's get to our last subject in the transfer portal. Casey Thompson. Now, this hurt, man. This was not a good thing. Some people, I don't know who they were, I don't know where they are, but I saw people on Twitter, on social media, saying, wow, this is such a good thing. It solidifies Jeff Sims as our starting quarterback. Are you out of your freaking mind? Okay, excuse me, I'm sorry. Okay, I like Jeff Sims. I think he's a heck of a quarterback, but every single quarterback in America needs to have competition. He now is walking with a golden spoon in his mouth going into the football season. He has no competition. It's his job right now. That's not healthy. Okay, that's not healthy. And I'm sure, and it's not Rule's fault that he's out, but I think it's kind of is, because I think they made it seem to Casey that Jeff Sims was guaranteed quarterback one. That's a problem. I talked about it before. I think Casey Thompson, just from a attribute standpoint, from a just quarterback ability standpoint, Casey Thompson is by far the better quarterback. Like dots, X's and O's, who could throw the most accurate passes to the 30-yard line. Casey Thompson was better than Jeff Sims in that standpoint. Does Jeff Sims have more athleticism? Yes, he does. Does Jeff Sims fit the offense better? Yes, he does. But I also think that Casey Thompson just straight up was the better quarterback. Not to say that Jeff Sims won't succeed. Not to say that if Casey Thompson started, he would play better than Jeff Sims. I'm just saying that I thought it would be really healthy for the quarterback room if Casey Thompson was there battling it with Jeff Sims. And I didn't care who started from that standpoint. And I still think this, if Casey Thompson and Jeff Sims had a true quarterback battle where anyone can win, it's not biased in any way, I think Casey Thompson would have won. Okay? So I'm frustrated about it for two reasons. One, I think we lost a great talent and a guy who probably could have been our quarterback one going into his second year here. And two, we lost the last piece of depth that we needed. Okay, Jeff Sims is quarterback one. Who's behind him? Heinrich Haarberg or Jubba Purdy? Do you understand? If Jeff Sims get hurt, which he probably will, he's been injury prone in his career before, and he's a running quarterback in a terrible O-line, with Nebraska's quarterback history being full of injuries, yes, there is more than likely, if not guaranteed, that Jeff Sims will miss at least a couple games this year or get banged up. It is basically guaranteed that's going to happen. So that means it's a guarantee that Heinrich Haarberg or Jubba Purdy is going to play meaningful ball this year. That is a problem. I am not a Heinrich Haarberg truther. There are people who love to, they love Heinrich Haarberg. There are people out there who are Heinrich Haarberg truthers. They think this dude is the absolute, they think this dude is amazing. They think this dude can throw it 60 yards. He has all the traits, and I'm not disagreeing. Like I just said, he does have good traits. But his IQ is the reason why he's never played. It's the reason why he's always been on the scout team. It's the reason why in last year's spring game, this dude didn't even play. Right? This dude can't even learn the freaking playbook. That's the problem. Guess what? In the spring game, he was 0 for 6 passing the football. And I understand it. Oh, Matt Rule talks so admirably about him in his press conferences and says how he's not going to change his position because he's a baller. No, he's not. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to see it for Heinrich Haarberg. I need to see it. I'm not trying to come at him, but him being quarterback 2 is a massive issue. Because we're talking about a guy who has no experience. He's never played in a real game. We're talking about a guy who has no IQ. If he comes into the game, this dude's going to gunsling the ball everywhere and will likely throw about 2 or 3 picks. He'll look pretty doing it. He might have a good run every now and then. He might fit the offense, and that's what I think they like about him. They like that he fits the offense. But he doesn't, I need to see it, is my point. Because it's IQ, it's the intangibles, it's the X's and O's, it's the progressions, it's everything like that I struggle with him. And I need to see it with him. So when I see people on Twitter hyping up Heinrich Haarberg saying, quarterback 2, I'm so excited to see Heinrich Haarberg. Are you stupid? Yeah, I'm excited to see him too. I was really excited to see him in the spring game because we've never seen him. I'm not excited to see him in real game action, in meaningful game action. That's not a good thing, right? We're not going to just put him in there and play around and be like, oh, I'm so excited to see you. No, a game's at stake, right? I don't want to see a person on the field because I'm excited to see them. I want to see a person on the field because I'm trusted with them. And I trust them, I trust them at their position. I do not trust Heinrich Haarberg. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess that just pissed me off a little bit because I saw people online just hyping up Heinrich Haarberg all the time. This is not a good thing that he's quarterback 2. And you might be saying to me, oh, Wilson, it's not guaranteed that he's quarterback 2. Jubba Purdy's there. Just as bad. That's just as bad. Did we forget how bad Jubba Purdy was when he played last year? I mean, we're talking about historically bad backup quarterback performance that rivals Riker Fife. And Riker Fife wasn't even that bad of a backup quarterback. I just gave him a hard time. But Jubba Purdy, man, was terrible. He was terrible. So bad as a backup quarterback. Do we remember the Michigan game? Do we remember the Michigan game, man? I mean, just bad. So this quarterback depth, man, is abysmal. It's abysmal. If Jeff Sims goes down, we're winning 2 games this year. And after that, it's walk-ons. We lost 3 scholarship quarterbacks. It's a problem, man. It's a massive problem. And people are not talking about it enough. And sooner or later, and people won't talk about it because they'll be just too infatuated with the fact that Jeff Sims is quarterback 1. They'll be too infatuated with the situation that once he eventually gets hurt, which is inevitable, they'll be like, oh crap, I didn't realize how bad our quarterback depth was. Well, yeah, I did. I noticed in April like how bad it was. So that's worrisome. That's really worrisome. And that's why I'm mad that Casey Thompson's left, because not only does he provide you great depth, but that quarterback battle is much needed. I don't want Jeff Simpson to just go in the fall and slouch around and be like, oh, it's my job, like Adrian Martinez did. Every time Adrian Martinez come to fall ball, I'd be like, oh, it's my job. I don't need to fight. I don't need to try hard. It's my job already. I'm just going to get ready for the season. It's the way Jeff Sims is going to be, man. No battle. No quarterback battle at all. Jeff Sims is not a perfect quarterback. Matt Rule is not a perfect coach. Just want to remind you guys that. Because it's the offseason. The Kool-Aid's flowing. And everyone's like, oh, Jeff Sims is going to be so good. Matt Rule is so good. I saw this poll on Twitter today where they were talking about the top 4 coaches. They did like this tournament of the top coaches in college football, right? And poll-wise, right? And they made it to their Final 4. Matt Rule is a part of that Final 4 just because Husker Nation was voting for him. Like, are you kidding me? Matt Rule is not a top 4 coach in college football. He's not even top 10. But because of the fact that he hasn't played it all yet, or hasn't coached a game yet, a real game yet, as a Nebraska Cornhusker, we're going to project him to be the greatest coach ever. And we're not going to forget that he is a flawed coach, and there is a reason why he got fired at the Panthers. There's a reason why he struggled at times with the Baylor Bears, with the Temple Owls. So I just want to mention that really quick. And I'm not trying to be a pessimist. I'm not a pessimist. Maybe I am a little bit, but I just don't like the Kool-Aid, man. We gotta hold down a little bit because you're gonna get hurt if you drink so much Kool-Aid. You're gonna get hurt. So, but that's my analysis of the transfers, Casey Thompson leaving, the depth, and all that. But I want to end this episode talking about the NFL draft, which happened today. Finished today. Let's just get into it. So, O'Shawn Mathis was the first Husker off the board, went to the Rams in the 6th round. I really like the fit. I like him playing under McGahee. I think it presents a really unique opportunity for him to get on the field, which I appreciate. The only thing I'm worried about with him is the fact that he's still kind of raw as a prospect. There's a reason why he went 6th round, and he's older. He's an older player. I'm not surprised he went 6th. I think I had when I made my pre-draft analysis, I think I had 5th or 6th on him, so I'm not surprised he went 6th. However, I was surprised when Trey Palmer went in the 6th round. I don't understand the whole scouts thing with him, like why scouts didn't like Trey Palmer. We're talking about a guy who has blazing speed, really developed as a route runner. The only thing that he really struggles with is, one, his catching, just straight up his contested catch abilities are not there. His athleticism is there, but his I should say physicality, it's not there. But I don't think that constitutes a 6th round pick. I thought he was going to the 3rd round. I'm not going to lie. I think I actually had him maybe even going to the 2nd round, because I thought that 40 time would really bump him up. So surprised he dropped to the 6th. And I am annoyed by him getting drafted by the Bucs. That's not a good fit. One, he doesn't have a quarterback to throw him the football and help him develop. You know, his Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask. That's not great. He is a defensive head coach. And the last thing is, it's a really deep receiver room already. I mean, he has Mike Evans and Godwin ahead of him. It'll be tough to climb up the ranks and really get good production. So, wasn't really thrilled with the Bucs grabbing him. I would have more liked it if a situation like the Bears got him or the Lions, opportunity for him to get through the ranks a little quicker. But It is what it is. The Bucks got a hell of a player in the 6th round, dude. Got a hell of a player. So those are the only 2 Huskers drafted. Then they had 2 more get picked up in UDFA. The first one being Travis Vokalek, who got picked up almost immediately by the Ravens. I really like that fit. Obviously, he's not going to start there. He's a UDFA. We weren't expecting him to start. But I do like that, and I really love the Ravens offense and how they utilize tight ends is one thing I really like. So I think that's going to bode well for him. Next one's Garrett Nelson, who went to the Dolphins over 11 other offers, which was nice. He took his time. That's funny because the Dolphins got Ben Stilley out of UDFA a couple years ago, so they've been known to get a couple Huskers. Garrett Nelson, man, he's going to work his ass off, and hopefully, man, he makes an impact. Caleb Tanner, at the start of this recording, Caleb Tanner was not signed anywhere. I just checked. He just signed with the Jets, so this is my instant analysis. I hope he gets a roster spot. I thought, actually, Caleb Tanner might have more success than Garrett Nelson in the NFL, just because from a trait standpoint, Caleb Tanner has it all. Really athletic. I was just surprised how bad his career ended up being for Nebraska, but he's a hustle player. And last one, hold on. The last guy is Brady Weiss. Hold on. Wow. Yeah, Brady Weiss signs with the Texans. Oh, he got a rookie mini camp. That was our long snapper. That's wild, man. That is absolutely nuts. So good for him, man. So there we go. That's the recap of the NFL draft. Kind of underwhelming. Only 2 selections, both of them being in the 6th round. But that's Nebraska football for you. What's annoying about it, and this is something that I have a gripe with in general, is why does Nebraska never get lucky when it comes to the draft? Like, why can't we ever have a stud of a player who just ends up going 1st round? It happens all the time for teams. All the time for college football teams. Like a bad team. Northwestern has it happen all the time. Peter Skoronski went 1st round. Bad teams all the time have one really standout player who goes 1st round. Why do we never have that happen? We haven't had a 1st round selection since Sue. It's been about 12 years. Well, I don't understand how every single year we only have 1 or 2 or 3 guys drafted and they're all day 3. It's frustrating, man. But I'm not going to complain. I wish the best for all those guys' careers. I think Trey Palmer is going to make himself a player in the NFL. I hope O'Shawn Matthews succeeds. Hope Caleb Tanner and Garrett Nelson make a 72 roster at the start of the year and survive the preseason. But that'll be interesting to watch, and I think Travis Vokalek is going to absolutely make the Ravens roster. I really like Travis Vokalek, man. I think he's going to do so well in the NFL, just like Jack Stoll did really good as an undrafted free agent. Because Jack Stoll made the active roster with the Eagles and played considerably. He played a lot. And Austin Allen also has had success. Even though I think he's with the Packers now, but he got picked up by the Giants originally. But he's doing good too. So, yeah, there we go. There's the analysis of the draft that happened today. Man, there it is. About 45 minutes of an episode when it's all said and done. We recapped everything, and it's only been 2 weeks, man. So a lot of stuff going on with Nebraska football as of recently. But thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys do like anything I said or you dislike anything I said, let me know in the comment section, and we could have a conversation about it. That'd be really cool. But yeah, if you like the video, you like the inside or what the takes, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. That'd be awesome. If you do comment that you subscribe, I'll personally respond to all of your comments. But once again, thank you guys for watching this video. Go Big Red as always, and have a good one.